It's your boy Roto Beast. I'm here with my boy Jeremy. We're here to present you our NBA morning shoot around for Thursday, February 28th. If you're new to this channel, please make sure and click the subscribe button below. This so you can watch all of our NBA, NFL, and MLB videos. If you haven't came and checked out our website here at dfscheatsheet.com, you're absolutely missing out. We have all the tools to help you compete with the pros day in and day out, including a complete optimizer, tons of content, daily Fanduel and Draftkings cash lineups. Hey, we're truly a one-stop shop for all your DFS needs. So make sure to come check out the site here at dfscheatsheet.com. So, hey, what up, Jeremy? How you doing, bro?
Yo, what up, man?
Hey, another day, another dollar, another day to grind out some NBA, man. I'm ready to jump into this slate. Real quick, before we do just jump into this slate, if you guys don't mind, please take that quick second, click the like button down below for me. Helps me out. Really, really appreciate that from you guys. And yeah, man, I'm ready to jump into it if you're ready to go.
Yeah.
Cool. First game we're going to start with, it is going to be the Minnesota Timberwolves going into Indiana to face the Pacers. This game has a 222.5 over under. Indiana's favored by 3.5. And if I'm correct, I think that this game is the second end of a back-to-back for both teams.
Yes, it is. With Minnesota losing a tough one last night to Atlanta, I don't even remember what the outcome was of the Dallas and Indiana game. But Indiana's home, Dallas and from Dallas, and Minnesota's still on the road. Karl-Anthony Towns, 67 FanDuel points last night. A monster game from him. Look, the same guys are in play here, and it's the same situation, right? You obviously you're going to be probably one more player short with Luol Deng, a guy who has filled in and gotten minutes during this injury-ridden stretch for Minnesota. He left yesterday's game and did not return with an Achilles injury. I haven't seen what that is, but I don't expect him to play, especially with him on the wrong side of Father Time there. So let's figure out what's going to happen with injury news. You know, I hate to be, not giving you any breaking news or information here, but it's the same situation with Minnesota on a back-to-back. You look at Andrew Wiggins, kind of underwhelming performance last night, but still put up over 30 fantasy points. Okogie, this guy's continuing to get run. Saric continuing to get run. Derrick Rose, really good play last night. Be a really good play again tonight. Again, plays that small forward. Really, he's the scorer on the floor for them. And that kind of takes away, in my opinion, from Andrew Wiggins. We said that earlier in the year when Andrew Wiggins got on a bit of a hot streak. Derrick Rose was not playing, neither was Tyus Jones, and neither was Jeff Teague. And Andrew Wiggins went on a run, right? And we said when Rose comes back, like it's going to take away from Wiggins, and it does.
Right. Just to mention, when all, like you were saying, when all those guys are out, he was pretty much playing point guard. And his usage was crazy high. That was really the main reason why he, was going crazy. He had the ball in his hand the whole time.
Mm-hmm.
So that's all you got for Minnesota?
Yeah, I mean, if you want to, I don't care who, look, load up who you want here, right? Because we know the situation. I don't think we have to get into what it is. Let's wait and see what happens with Jeff Teague if he's ruled out. Don't expect Luol Deng to play. Right. There'll be minutes there. Taj Gibson at 3.8. I like him a lot on this particular slate. I think that there's other spots that people will look to, namely Jonah Bolden. And I think that Gibson on the second end of a back-to-back makes a lot of sense in certain situations if the rotation becomes short. Other than that, Karl-Anthony Towns is playing at a high level, man. He's playing at a high level right now.
Yeah, for sure. On the Pacers side of things, so we know that Sabonis is going to be out. Neither one of these guys had crazy good games yesterday. But hey, new day. I'm going to go right back to the well. You can definitely look at Miles Turner and Thaddeus Young. We know with the Pacers, that lately they've been throwing a little bit of O'Quinn in, but I'm not really worried about no O'Quinn. Miles Turner, Thaddeus Young, they should get the bulk of the minutes at the power forward and center positions today. And both of those guys are pretty fair price. So I like both of those guys. I think those are the two guys you got to start with on the Pacers with some bonus out. Derek Carlson, a little too expensive. Bojan Bogdanovic, 6,000. He's right there in that mid-tier. I think he gives you a solid floor. 20, 25 fantasy points is your floor with maybe 35 fantasy point upside. I just don't see the crazy high upside on this price tag. GPP play only. Outside of that, there's not really nobody on the bench for the Pacers that really excite me. I mean, my favorite two plays in this game are Miles Turner and Thaddeus Young with Sabonis being out. Cool. Next game we're gonna go with the Golden State Warriors going into Orlando to face the Magic. This game has a 227 over under. Golden State's favored by 6.5, and Golden State's on the second end of a back to back as well. Getting beat by Dwayne Wade at the buzzer last night.
Another team on a back to back here on the slate. The Warriors, not a far trip for them, though, so it's not like they got in late and didn't get a ton of sleep, not a West Coast to East Coast trip or long flight or anything like that. So it is a back-to-back for a veteran team. DeMarcus Cousins rested yesterday. Looked for him to be extremely fresh. My favorite play on the Warriors is Boogie Cousins. Just because of the fact that he's fresh, the guy's not on a minutes limit anymore. He's absolutely crushed in a couple of spots this season. I like Draymond as well. Draymond and DeMarcus Cousins seem to be playing extremely well and getting all three of the other main scorers involved. I told you yesterday, Klay Thompson is Mr. Consistency. He didn't do anything special. He just went out and led them in scoring last night and knocked down shot after shot after shot after shot. Same spot, right? It's the same spot for Klay Thompson. This guy, as long as his price is going to stay between 6,500 and 7,500, load Klay Thompson up in tournaments, especially because on any given night, he can go for 35 or 40 points, and he's probably just going to, on average, is going to get you 25 real points. And if he fills up any other category, steals, blocks, a couple rebounds, a couple of assists, he's going to be Mr. 5 times with the potential to go 7 or 8. So I love him. Obviously, Looney and Bell no longer really in play here with the return of DeMarcus Cousins. Jerebko probably gets the first minutes off the bench for as far as big guys go. And if they decide to play small, then you could look at other guys taking up minutes. But the 5 starters are in play here, and you don't really need to go any further than that.
Yeah, man. On the Magic side, I think it's funny because you pretty much just took it right out of my mouth. I mean, on the Magic side, I'm sticking with the starters as well. I think all 5 of the starters for the Magic are in play. They're all pretty good prices as well. They're all very fair price tag. Vucevic is priced up to 10.4, but I think that this is a spot where he's more of a GPP play just because he's going to be going against Cousins. Whereas if he would have got the Warriors last night with Boogie Cousins on rest, I would have absolutely loved Vucevic in this spot. Would have been talking about he could be in cash games, etc. With Boogie back, it's a tougher matchup. So I want to say that Vucevic is a GPP play. But, I mean, Vucevic is just a baller. I mean, this dude does his thing night in and night out. He's one of those guys that's very consistent, gives you a solid floor pretty much regardless of matchup. So I think all 5 of the starters for the Magic are in play. They're all GPP plays for me, though, with my favorite 2 probably being DJ Augustine, Vucevic. And then you come off the bench with Terrence Ross. I actually got burned by him last game. He had the worst game that he's had probably all season. Got his 3.4 fantasy points, which is horrible. Couldn't knock down a shot. The guy started off like over 8 or something like that. Hey, everybody has bad shooting nights. They're human just like we're human. I think he's going to be a really low-owned play just because people are going to be scared of going back to that well. So I think Ross is a really good GPP play as well. But I'm not going outside of those 6 guys right there. It's really just the starters, throw in Ross, and kind of move on.
Huge price discrepancy with Vucevic between Fanduel and DraftKings, where he's 9.3 on DraftKings and 10.4 on Fanduel.
Right.
You like to look at things like that when there's an $1,100 difference between a guy on 2 different sites.
Yeah, for sure. Moving on. Next game we're going to go with. I feel like we've seen this game like 5 times already. It's the battle of the tanky teams. You got Cleveland Cavaliers going into New York to face the Knicks. This game has a 219.5 over under, and New York is favored by 3 in this one.
I'm going to tell you that if Brandon Knight can get you a little bit of a run, then he's okay to play in tournaments. If he's going to play 17 minutes, minimum value on both sides. But, look, am I excited to load up anything here? Kevin Love, yeah, I like Kevin Love here. Do I like Cedi Osman? I like Cedi Osman. I like Colin. I mean, I like all of these Cav players, especially in this game. I think all of them are fine in tournaments. I think all of them are fine as salary savers. Except for Love, obviously, who's a mid-tier play, but Osman has been playing extremely well. He's had a couple of 40-point-plus games over his last 5 to 6 or 7 games here. Colin Sexton continues to get run at the point guard spot. We see his last 5 games, 35.2 minutes, 16 points, 3 rebounds, 3 assists for $5,000. Absolutely, but there's going to be guys for cash tonight that, mainly Dragic again, that his price is 4.1, right? And we saw what Dragic did last night. So It makes Sexton to me fine in tournaments. Zizic at 4.3. I'm fine with Zizic at 4.3 in tournaments, right? In tournaments. But I think all these guys are tournament plays, including Kevin Love, just because Kevin Love is going to continue to be on a minutes restriction. Larry Nance Jr. at 6.5 on FanDuel. You look at his price at 6,000 on DraftKings. He's a tournament play, period, point blank in the story. Is he the one guy in cash that you want to pay up for? No, he's coming off the bench. You know Jonah Bolden is, especially on FanDuel, Jonah Bolden is going to be pretty much a lock tonight because of the fact that Philadelphia has no center. So do I want exposure here? Probably in tournaments a little bit, but are these the best locks for these cash game safe plays? No, none of them are.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the Knicks side of things, it's tough. It's tough. Knicks are right now. They're reminding me of a Miami Heat team that we always talk about. When they're healthy, they have a log jam. They're pretty much too deep at every single position. They're trying to open up their rotation so everybody gets minutes in the 20s. And that's pretty much what's going on with the Knicks right now. Dennis Smith, he's playing 25 minutes a game. He's getting his minutes taken away from Moutier. Von Lay, he's starting the game, but he's getting taken out by Robinson. Robinson's price tag is pretty high right now at a 7.4 price tag. It's like, man, I think that the two guys that are really getting consistent run, Kevin Knox is getting his run for the most part. I like Kevin Knox's run. And then this guy Trier. Trier, he is still coming off the bench, but he's getting consistent minutes off the bench. I mean, he's got you. Well, I mean, even him. I mean, you can see this. Even him, he's got you in the past 5 games, 2 games, 18 and 21, and then 3 games of 26 plus. So, I mean, I don't know. It's really a guessing game with the Knicks. Somebody's going to go off. Somebody's going to have a good game. But I just don't know who I really want to target. I mean, who are you liking on the Knicks? I mean, not trying to put it on you. It's tough. I don't know who I fucking like here.
Okay, so look, Henry Ellison. Look at his game log, right? This guy had look at this. Zeros across the fucking board here. Zeros, right? He plays 3 minutes against San Antonio, and then the next night plays 36 minutes, 13 points, 9 rebounds, 5 assists, and 2 steals, 34 fantasy points, breaks the slate, right? I think he was 0.01% owned in most. I said it on the video that day when I said, you don't know what they're going to do. DeAndre Jordan out, I get it. And I said, look at Luke Cornett. The guy goes on Sunday against San Antonio, 0 minutes in a spot where DeAndre Jordan was ruled out, a guy that they basically got rid of Cantor for because they started starting Cornett.
Right.
And he gets 0 minutes.
Right.
Who knows what the hell they're going to do? Nobody knows what they're going to do. They traded for Dennis Smith Jr. The guy almost averages a triple-double, and we're worried about not averages. The guy almost goes out and puts up a triple-double on Sunday, I believe it was. And then now we're talking about Moutier eats into his minutes, right? I don't know what they're doing. They're tanking, period.
It's I'm not trying to the Knicks.
It's tournament plays. Load up whoever you want. It's tournament plays.
I honestly don't know what to do. Like, one day this guy plays minutes, the next day this guy's playing minutes, etc. I will throw out there, I think that Trier is still a solid price, 4.3, that you can maybe possibly think about a drop spot. I just don't – he's a little bit overpriced if I want to pay a 4.3 for a drop spot. That's kind of the thing with Trier. So, yeah, man, I mean, if we get some news that this person started, this guy's going to play around 30 minutes, then you could kind of go for the next guy. But right now, 20 minutes pretty much each guy. It's tough. And then you got Robinson. I think he's going to be a popular guy today. But 7.4 is a tough price tag. You already mentioned the guy that we got coming up that's pretty much just going to be 100% lock at the position. So, yeah, man, let's just move on.
The crazy thing about this was you can't say that the Ellenson thing was Hezonja being ruled out because Hezonja hasn't played in 4 games, right? And this dude Ellenson, in 2 of those 4 games, he didn't play either. And then in the third one, he played 3 minutes, and then the fourth one, he plays 36. So everybody's guess is as good as the next person here.
It's really like, who do I feel like playing today? This guy? No, this guy. You know what I mean?
Throw darts against a wall.
Right, for sure. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the Miami Heat going into Houston to face the Rockets. This game has a 220.5 over-under. Houston's favored by 9.5. I know Miami played last night. Did the Heat play last night as well?
Houston played at Charlotte.
Okay, yeah. So both teams are on the second end of a back-to-back. I think this slate has a possibility to be one of those slates that's going to be a low-scoring slate, in my opinion.
Possibly.
Yeah, for sure. So yeah, go ahead and get us started with the Miami side of things.
There's definitely meaningful games across the association tonight, though. I mean, there's meaningful game. Minnesota and Indiana are in the middle of it. You know, Orlando's on the outside looking in the middle of it. Miami and Houston. You know, there's playoff implications all around here. So I mean, I don't expect it to be like if this was in December, because we're on the, you know, there's 20 games left basically in the season. So
Right.
Miami, they've already ruled out Hassan Whiteside and James Johnson. They did that late last night. I'm curious to see if more news breaks here after they kind of get done with their get into the afternoon here, because of the fact that we know Dwayne Wade has old legs. Goran Dragic did play 20 minutes last night. I'm curious to see if they update that and he's going to play more minutes. I'm just curious to see what news breaks on Miami as the day kind of goes on here, being that they are on a back-to-back with more of a veteran roster here. But look, this is a repeat of yesterday. Kelly Olynyk and Bam, they're the two plays to me that make a lot of sense here. We saw it last night. I'm going to tell you something, man. Bam has, over the course of this season, this guy's gotten so much better, and he's so much more aggressive than he was earlier in the year. Earlier in the year, you know, we played him a lot in different aspects, especially when he was the first guy, big man, to come off the bench and was getting a lot of runs. And a lot of nights he was playing more minutes than Whiteside was.
Played him last year too a little bit.
Oh no, I'm just absolutely, but I'm talking about specifically this year and how he's changed this year. I mean, this is a guy who had a hard time with foul trouble, right? Very frustrating because he would put up fantasy points per minute. He just couldn't stay on the floor in some instances, right? This guy's game has changed so much. He's so athletic. You're looking at him trying to, you know, rebound and then bring the ball up himself and look to get an assist, then go set a pick. He's very active, very athletic. I like this guy a ton. He plays center. He's built like a brick shithouse. He has no problem with other big guys. I love this matchup for him against Capella because Capella is not a banger. He's really a pick and roll finesse type player. I like this spot for Bam a ton. But again, I think that the problem here is that he could. The reason I mentioned foul trouble is he could get in foul trouble here trying to deal with the pick and roll action. It could be Harden's good. He can get caught up in a switch. Olynyk is the safest play. Deion Waiters is going to take shots, and we know that. We've mentioned at length that his minutes are very steady. And Dwayne Wade, it'll be interesting to see if any news breaks about him possibly sitting. It's a back-to-back. He's old. He did hit the game-winning shot last night. Maybe that gives him a little juice for today. I don't know. But that's pretty much it. Outside of, we've already mentioned Goran Dragic. We've already mentioned that he's a solid play today.
Yeah, for sure. On the Heat side of things, a couple guys I'm going to start with. Chris Paul, still under 9,000. The guy's playing very, very well. Chris Paul's playing really good right now. He's really taking away from what James Harden has going on. James Harden still, he's still doing the James Harden thing, but he's not scoring as much. He's not patting it and filling up the stat sheet the way he was when Chris Paul was out. James Harden, for me, I'm just gonna come out and say it. I think he's strictly 100% a GPP play at the price tag. Even though the price tag is down a little bit, the usage is not there. It looks like he's hurt a little bit still. So James Harden, strictly GPP. Chris Paul, my favorite play on the Rockets. After Chris Paul, we can look at a guy like Eric Gordon. 5.2, we know this guy could get hot, score the ball in bunches. He has 40 fantasy point upside. He's in that sweet spot, 5.2. We need 25 for value. I think the Eric Gordon is a really good play along with Chris Paul. Then you could throw in Clint Capella. He's under 8,000 now. They're without Whiteside. I understand Bam and Olynyk are decent size guys, but they're not true sitters. And I think this is a spot that Capella could definitely have a really good game. One thing I will mention, though, is that Capella, they are on the second end of a back-to-back. He is just coming off injury, and he played 40 minutes last night. So
it's a hand injury, though.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, but still 40 minutes a lot, though, after you haven't been playing for a while.
But let me tell you this. I don't want to steal your thunder here, but let me just tell you this. Fareed is out. Nene is out. Shumpert, a game-time decision. He left that game. They're going to be short rotation tonight. And the thing about James Harden, the guy was 3 for like 24 last night shooting the basketball. So he took 24 shots. He just didn't make anything, and he still had 52 fantasy points. So I'm all over him again today.
I'm personally James Harden strictly GPP. Capella, I think you could look at cash games. I like Capella today, but we talked about there's another center on the slate that's probably going to be crazy high owned, so it's going to be tough. Capella GPP, Chris Paul, I think you could consider him cash games. Gordon, you could consider him cash games at the price tag. Harden GPP, and that's it, man. I'm ready to move on.
Let me ask you this, right? Who are you going to pay up for today besides Westbrook with all the value on the board?
Shit, I'll probably go Westbrook and Paul George and move on.
Paul George is playing some of the worst basketball he's played all year.
Yeah, but
– and you're talking about a guy in Harden with a short rotation, 24 shots last night, made 3, had 52 fantasy points.
Yeah, I still rather go Paul in this spot. That's just me personally. I'm ready to move on. Next game we're going to go with is going to be the Philadelphia 76ers going into OKC to face the Thunder. This game has a 241.5 over under. OKC's favored by 7 in this one.
I am not in agreement with that whatsoever because of the fact that this has been a heated matchup between Russell Westbrook and Joel Embiid. I think there's a little bit of a letdown in this spot, to be honest with you.
But Embiid's not playing today, so that narrative is completely out the window.
That's what I just said. I said there's a little bit of a letdown with that.
Yeah, I got you. Go ahead.
So Philadelphia has no center here. Boban out, Embiid out. The next guy up is Jonah Bolden. $4,000 on DK. Minimum value play just about on FanDuel. For your power forward spot on FanDuel. Obviously, dual eligibility on DraftKings. I think this guy's a chalky play. I think he's basically in the same spot Looney was in yesterday. I don't know how much run he'll get. I don't know how much he'll play, but we have seen him in spots do extremely well this year. There was a West Coast trip they went on where they played at Golden State, they played at Sacramento, and Bolden got a lot of run. I like Redick a lot in this spot because he's a shooter, and I think that the way this game kind of plays out, that Simmons and JJ Redick work well. They work well together. You got Redick who runs off screens all day long, and he's a really good really underrated catch and shoot guy. Tobias Harris at 7.5. This is a cheap price for Tobias Harris. I like him a lot. And then Jimmy Butler, a really cheap price and a really fair price for as short as they are. They have to play small ball. I mean, there's no way around it. You could also look at a guy like Mike Scott, who probably gets some run. He's been getting run. He probably gets a little additional run here with no Boban, no Joel Embiid. Mike Scott's a tournament play only, but I like all 5 starters here. I really like Ben Simmons a lot in this spot. He's $2,600 cheaper than Westbrook is on FanDuel, and they're short. So, Simmons, it's going to be on Simmons. We know Simmons has a lot better usage when Embiid is off the floor. So, look, I like Simmons a ton. I like Butler. I like Harris. I like Redick. Obviously Bolden, and then maybe Mike Scott.
Yeah.
The guy that I didn't mention is probably McConnell, who's going to also see a little bit of a jump as well. And Jonathan Simmons has played minutes as well. So what they do outside their starting 5 is a little bit of a guess, and I think that Oklahoma City will kind of dictate how that goes with how they play.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, on the Thunder side of things, we talked about who to pay up for. So I think that you pay for Westbrook, and then I don't even think you have to pay up for another guy. I think you can get a couple mid-tier guys. I think you could throw in a Ben Simmons with maybe one of the Warriors guys. You got Curry, you got Durant. They're all 9,000. I think that's a way that we could definitely go today as well. So on the Thunder side of things, we talked about it. There's not a real center on the 76ers. I definitely think this is a spot that Steven Adams, he's not playing well right now. I understand. But who's going to guard this guy on Philadelphia? They have nobody. I think this guy –
he's not going to be on the floor, bro.
I think that he will. I think that they'll still keep him out there down low, and then they'll come in with they'll play small ball with Schroeder, I think, and I think Grant will be the guy that's probably going to be the odd man out in the long run because they like playing Adams. I mean, if you look at his game long,
they like playing Noel, who's been playing about 20 minutes.
Yeah, no, I mean, I get it. Adams, he consistently gets you 30 minutes a game. I mean, that's what he plays. Even if 30 minutes, I think he can crush his spot. So Adams, So if he's not, we can maybe throw him a little bit more in the GPP category.
Yeah, he's a great GPP player for sure.
He still is a really good player. So I really think. I mean, I'm not a guy that really plays Ferguson. You're a guy that likes Ferguson. 3.6 price tag. You can look at him. I'm sorry. You can look at Ferguson as a drop spot play. Jeremiah Grant is in play as well. I think that all 5 of the Thunder starters are in play. They're all solid price tags. And then off the bench, Noel 4,000 price tag is trending up. You can almost consider him as a drop spot. Problem is he plays center and Bolden plays. Bolden's power forward. For the whole time I was thinking Bolden was center. So we can definitely play a couple of these centers that we already talked about. So Noel off the bench with Schroeder off the bench. I think those are the 2 guys that you can look at for the Thunder off the bench, going along with their starters, and that's really it for me.
I'm gonna tell you something, bro. There's not the 2 sites we know are so different with. For one, with eligibility, and then 2, position and roster construction, right? They're so different. There's not many nights on FanDuel where you can load up 3 point guards or 4 point guards, and there's not very many nights where you can load up 3 or 4 centers. Tonight is one of those nights. You can load up 3 centers with Bam, Bolden, and then another true center. So I love the fact that you can do that tonight on FanDuel. It's just something to think about when you're building your lineups today, that you can get 3 starting centers in your lineup tonight.
Yeah, for sure. I agree. So, I mean, let's move on. Last game of the night. We got the Utah Jazz going into Denver to face the Nuggets. This game has a 226 over-under, and Denver's favored by 7 at home.
Back-to-back in Denver. You know the drill here, right? So,
drill.
So, Utah played last night against the Clippers. I'm going to tell you right now, I said this the other day when there was a huge block of games that were at 8 o'clock Eastern on that 11-game slate. I said, don't miss the action in the Clippers, Clipper-Dallas game. I said, don't miss the action in that game. You literally could have stacked that game up and taken down a tournament with all the guys who had 48 to 55 fantasy points, namely Patrick Beverley, namely Dwight Powell, who went nuts. So you could have stacked that game up. Don't miss this game, and don't get caught up in the fact that it's the last game on the slate. It looks like a type game because it's 2 teams that are Utah and Denver in small markets that don't get a lot of coverage. Do not fade this game. I'm telling you right now, you're going to have some exposure to this if you want to take down a tournament tonight, because good players will find ways to get exposure here. Do I want exposure to anybody on Utah? I'll let you know. That remains to be seen because we don't know what's going to happen with Ricky Rubio, who did leave with a hamstring injury yesterday. If Rubio can't go, I think you could definitely look at guys. We know this spot. You could definitely look at guys like a Royce O'Neal as a tournament play. You could definitely look at NATO, as a tournament play. Exum is out already. So, see what happens with Rubio, but a value spot that's going to be off the board, in my opinion, because of other guys like a Goran Dragic, who's 4.1, whose price didn't get adjusted on FanDuel, went for 30 last night. I think that the drive-by game log watchers may just miss this game altogether because it's Rudy Gobert against Jokic. It's Paul Millsap overpriced with value on the board. It's Donovan Mitchell too expensive. Wait and see what happens with Rubio. If he's out, there's instant value with a couple of guys. Kyle Korver will get a little bit of an extra run here as well. So see what the news is, but don't miss exposure to this game is my point.
For sure. So real quick, before we do jump into the Denver side of things, one thing I do want to say, 2 nights ago, we did this video. My boy Jeremy went on a rant talking about how Will Barton was the worst play ever on the slate, and he ended up going out and got a 6X, almost 7X. I just had to tell you about that because I liked him, and you told me about how bad of a play it was, and he did his thing. Will Barton is a guy I've been playing with.
Wait, whoa. You do not get to just put me on blast and not let me talk back, bro. Because what did I do? What did I do? What did I do?
About how bad of a play it was, and the guy did work.
What did I do? What did I do?
Hey, you played him.
and why did I play him?
Hey, I'm just saying. Hey, I'm just telling you, bro.
And why did I play him?
Hey, probably because I called you out and you knew that it was a good play after the fact that you told me.
Bro, we don't need to get into who's taking down more tournaments and who plays what here.
Hey,
every single time that you feel like somebody has let you down and they're in a terrible spot, mark my words, they will come out and they will show out. And after we got the video, exactly what I said, what I say. We were on the phone. I can even tell you where I was at. I was in my garage, and I'm like, I'm gonna load up Will Barton today because he's been absolutely atrocious. And tonight's probably the night he's gonna go out and put up 6x. Boom! What happened?
Yeah,
exactly,
I got
bro.
you.
Exactly. Cricket.
Around Denver side of things, Denver. I mean, honestly, I feel like outside of Beasley, I'm not really going to play Beasley. All the other 4 starters are in play. Jokic and Millsap, they're strictly GPPs just because both of their price tags are elevated. You got Jokic going against Gobert. You got Millsap going against Favors. Both of those guys are pretty good defenders. I think that they kind of cancel each other out a little bit. I mean, I'm not saying that those guys can't have good games. They're just tough matchups. Jamal Murray, if he's going to be going – Rubio is a game-time decision. If Rubio is in, I'm absolutely not scared of Rubio's defense. I would love Jamal Murray in this spot. Will Barton, 5.2. I'll continue to go right back to the well. I understand that they do have a lot of guys that are coming back. They have a lot of guys that are healthy right now, but they like Will Barton, and they showed it in the past. He's going to play right around 30 minutes, and the guy's a fantasy point per minute monster, maybe even a little bit more than that. I really like Will Barton. Once again, 5.2. We like the Nuggets at home. We think they're going to beat them. We know the rule with Utah, second in of a back-to-back. Nuggets should have a really good game. Like I said, I like all the starters outside of Beasley. You could take another shot on Isaiah Thomas if you want, 3.8. You can use him as a drop spot play. The guy's just not really getting the minutes that we want. If we're going to hear that he's going to play, 22 minutes, 23 minutes like he did two games ago against the Clippers, load him up. But if he's going to only play 13 to 15 minutes, you really got to kind of stay away. Gary Harris as well. I expected Gary Harris to find his way back into the starting lineup and kind of take Malik Beasley out the mix. If that happens today, because it's going to happen, I promise you. And if that happens today, 4.6 for Gary Harris if he's going to be playing close to 30 minutes. Great price tag for him. We can kind of look at Mason Plumlee with Trey Lyles out. They really only have one big guy that's the backup. That's Mason Plumlee. So I think he'll get a little bit of run at center and power forward. But that's really it for me on the Denver side of things. Cool. Hey, well, that's all we got for you guys. 6 games wrapped up in a nutshell. I will be back in a little bit with my NBA core plays for the day. We will be on 1 hour before tip-off today, breaking down our NBA live segment and kind of updating you on any injury news or any news that came out throughout the day, minute-wise, etc. So make sure, have those notifications turned on. Make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. If you want to play the actual lineups that we're playing every single day or come mess with the optimizer and run 150 lineups, you can do it all on the website, dfscheatsheet.com. We got a bunch of new content pieces up as well. So go read those articles, man. Got some really good guys on the money team. And
hey, bro, real quick, I just want to hit on one thing since we're talking about content. Go check out our content. One of our articles, every single play was either right about 5.5 to 6.1x last night. I believe we had Tyus Jones, Bradley Beal, LeBron, Noah, and Kat as recommended in the 5 plays in our Crush Spot article. The Crush Spot is back. A lot of people have been asking about that on social media and inboxing on that too. So that's out. Make sure you guys go check the content out as well. There's a lot of content up right now on the site. Yeah, for sure. So, hey, that's all we got for you guys. Good luck on your guys' contest tonight, and peace out.